Hey everyone, I'm Ben.
And I'm Sam.
And this is Counterfeit Christianity. I thought about this term that I want to coin. So the term that I like and I thought of this week is Christian fragility. And I want to talk about that because Christians are super fragile. If you talk about it.
Did you look at my Bible funny?
Yeah.
Because you're going to hell and I'm not.
You need to go to church to get some learning in you. Somebody put that in our comments this week.
Yeah, really? Yeah, right.
You need to go to church more. I don't want to get raped, thanks. But yeah.
Well, you're not a little boy anymore, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But you never went to a Catholic one anyway, right?
No.
Not that it matters. I'm pretty sure it happens at all of them.
Yeah.
Especially Hillsong.
But yeah, there's and then there's there's a Christian fragility, and then we're also like I watched a podcast with Elon Musk, and he talks about the mind virus on there, and then I think
mind virus.
Yeah, and I think there's a Christian mind virus as well. So there's mind virus of most people in the world.
A death cult mind virus.
A death cult. That's another one.
We've been characterizing Christianity as a death cult lately because they're obsessed with death. They're obsessed with you better do what we say and join our club, or you're going to die and be tortured forever.
Yep,
that's their message.
That is.
We're part of the death cult, and we're terribly afraid of the guy in the sky that he's going to torture us.
They try and tell people.
The guys up there who run the church at the pulpit, they told us there's a guy in the sky, and if we don't do this, we're going to burn.
Yeah.
And we have to pay them too.
They try and tell you that it's not
that. Doesn't sound sus to you?
Yeah. They try and tell you that it's about life, but it's actually about death.
It is.
Because they're afraid of death.
Christianity is a death cult.
Yeah, and they're afraid of their loving daddy putting them in hell.
They use the living God as a lie and a justification for their death cult.
If you say anything against anything that they believe, they're extremely fragile.
Oh yeah, aggressive, psychotic, violent even.
Yep. So yeah, they're fragile Christians that are living in the Christian mind virus under the inside of that death cult.
The Christian mind virus basically comes down to, I'm better than you because that guy over there in robes told me so.
Yeah, it's sort of like the mind virus of the world that sort of does everything that they're told. It's sort of joined at the hip.
It becomes about like obedience to the state, really.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's obedience to the
church and the state used to sort of be the same, and then we've separated the church and state, which people go crazy about, but it's a good thing, you know. But they didn't really separate it. It's just the same players, different names.
Yeah, and now the virus is spread, and they're both the same thing, and they just think that they're different. Like a person in a church would think, I'm so clever, I know everything.
They did create the idea of persecution against Christians too, but it doesn't really happen. Not in our countries.
No, because
real persecution happens to believers in places like Africa or Asia. China in particular.
It's illegal to be at church, and they have all the underground stuff.
I wonder if they all walk around trying to accuse each other of who's more pious and who's more self-righteous.
Yeah, I don't think
so. Or they're too busy hiding from the Chinese authority.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
big difference between idiot Western Christians and people who are trying to survive.
Yeah. Well, we had a really fragile Christian go around onto a bunch of our shorts this week but just talking shit, and it just proved where his heart was at.
Eventually, what overflows out of your mouth is what comes out here.
Yeah. It's funny because he was trying to tell everybody that we were trying to make up a different doctrine, but what we're saying is follow Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus doesn't like doctrine.
It's actually the church that
church loves words like doctrine and obedience and theology and church history and all this stuff that really is meaningless to our living life
and
Jesus, with the living God.
What did he come here to do? He came to smash that shit up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
that's why they killed him.
Yeah. That's why the Jews killed him.
Well, the Jews killed him.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the Hebrews, but maybe the Jews. Like the story about the lady being stoned, to death because she was committing adultery. I know I say that story all the time. That doesn't diminish its value, by the way. It has power no matter what, no matter how many times you say it. But, the world wanted to come and kill her, and they had the justification. The law says, and he's like, yeah, all right, so which of you has never done anything wrong? You can throw the first stone.
That's really interesting the way that Jesus said that, because a lot of fragile Christians nowadays really love leaning on the law, and they would want to attack her. Yeah. Modern Christians today would want to attack her. They would want to stone her, and they would want to feel righteous about it. I've had
Jesus would not be okay with it.
Yeah, multiple people call us heretics, don't they? Like I've had a person call me a heretic to my face, and then I've had people in the comments call us heretics. That's what they used to say to all
of God's prophets.
Yeah,
and He has a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're outside the norm and people hate you, you probably know God. I mean, God says as much in the Bible. It's funny because they try and throw the Bible at you as a weapon, and then you can throw it back and say, well, it says here that God will use the downtrodden and the broken things of the world to shame the wise.
Yeah.
So, if you're an orphan, God's your father.
Yep.
So if you're missing things in life, God's filling that gap for you.
Mm-hmm.
So all the people who think they're better than everyone else, they're actually at the bottom.
Yeah. The reason we're talking about this is because we were that. Yeah. I was really fragile.
That's how we can understand.
Yeah.
But the difference is admitting it and turning around.
Yeah.
Which Christians like to throw at people as repent. That actually means to turn around and change your mind, but none of you do.
Yeah.
People might throw stuff like that at us. It's like, we already did. We were like you, and now we have repented.
And we're free, and with Jesus.
And we didn't do it because we're great and wise and mighty. We did it because our dad led us there.
Yeah.
And he showed us.
Yeah.
Because he cares about us.
And now we get to be...
And he does do it for anybody.
Yeah. Everybody can take his hand. Yeah. Anybody can.
I swear there's such a hero worship sort of culture and a celebrity culture in all the churches now where it's about, oh, did you see that guy? Oh, that pastor's coming. Oh my God.
Did you hear what this guy said, that guy
We have to pay the $200 extra fee, and then we'll do the love offering and the blood. And it's all about that guy and what he said. Yeah,
and then it falls apart if that guy's not around or if something happens to that guy.
But if you really know God, he teaches you stuff. It's not about who said it. It's about you understanding it. It's about you knowing God and you knowing other people.
Yeah.
Everything in life that matters has been boiled down to those two things.
Yeah.
Jesus has said that heaps of times in the Bible. And, if you... All you need to do to fulfill all the law is love God and love other people. That's it. That's what life is about. Philosophical arguments are so much less important than relationships are. But the Christian mind virus has turned it into something of the mind instead of the spirit and of the heart. So the heart would crave relationships and love.
Yeah.
But instead, the mind is shutting the heart off.
It's like when we
say
see this...
strangle that heart because I have a better argument than that person.
Yeah.
And I'm better than them.
When we see these
you don't know God at all. Yeah.
We see the mind virus now. It's like it's not a thing that we can actually get caught up in anymore because we just see it and it's like, oh, that's so opposite of who we are now.
Jesus said, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. So, that lady that we're going to stone to death, he gave her mercy rather than sacrifice her. But you can apply that to other things. Yeah. Like people who put an argument above a relationship, they're choosing sacrifice over mercy. Mercy would be the heart thing to forgive and to reconcile or whatever. Depending on the circumstances.
Absolutely.
You
can't just go delving back into shit.
You don't owe people your instant forgiveness and reconciliation.
Forgiveness is about you. For you. Yeah.
Forgiveness is about you. You don't owe
yourself forgiveness.
Yeah. You owe yourself to forgive them and let it go so that you can be free. But you don't necessarily owe them reconciliation, especially if they're going to hurt you again.
You don't want to go back into the
slight
same
segue.
No, but that's true.
But
you don't want to go back into a relationship where I forgive you because I am freeing myself. But then I'm not going to go back into that relationship because you're the same thing. Like you haven't traveled down that journey of being with God.
Yeah.
If you're a fragile Christian and you feel offended when people say things about God, then who do you think God is? It's kind of interesting, right?
Well, you must think that God's weak or can't defend himself, or that you need to hold him up.
It's like
holding up a mannequin. Like, he's real. Straighten him up a little bit. See, you're wrong. You don't need to do that. God actually is real. Yeah. You don't have to be worried about his mannequin falling over and you having to pick it up and yell at all the people trying to knock it over.
I've been talking about this with multiple people yesterday and today. This idea of who do you think God is? And this is the example that I talk about. Like, for me, what do I do for my son and my kids? I do so much for them that they have no idea about. And then that is who our God is. That is who our dad is to us. But it's so much more than that. He opens every door and closes every door that he doesn't want us to go through. He flows things that he wants us to be a part of. All we have to do is be with him. And everything else just flows out of that. Like, if you think that you have to protect God, in the Crusades, you got to go to war for God. No.
I was thinking to myself yesterday, God, when I walk with you, it's like walking through a field of flowers all day long.
Yeah. Or floating above it even. It's like...
When I'm not with you, it's like walking through Mordor. It's like dark and cold, and there's a mountain of fire, and there's like goblin things trying to kill you.
Yeah.
They're usually other humans, but they look like goblins half the time.
It's just what we're focusing on. Are we focusing on who our dad is, or are we focusing on the shit of the world?
Yeah.
And I choose to focus on my dad. Because I got nothing without him. I'm literally nothing without him.
In some ways, that's the benefit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like I've got nothing, but if I had something, that'd probably pull me away from you.
Yeah. I think we've talked about it a lot. So yeah, if you feel like if you get offended by things that people say about God, then try and, I don't know, dig through that somehow. Be with Jesus somehow. Yeah, just don't keep doing it because you're killing yourself.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah.